when I'm not digging real deep down into my soul to not be the guy that complains about the lack of vegan chocolates on Halloween, I like to answer questions and comments that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. What A minor 7 chord are you using? Let's be real. When you become a real guitar player is when you start swapping out all your minor chords for minor 7 chords, all right? Everybody knows A minor. We all start with that guy right there, rocking out the Martin D35 today, as usual. And I think it's once you realize you can actually make minor chords easier just by lifting your ring finger. You've joined the club of A minor 7, right? So I think minor 7 chords usually sound better. I know that's always to taste for sure, but we're gonna talk about just some minor 7 chord voicings that you should always have in your back pocket. Doesn't mean you always have to use them, but there's something that I always like using. Some of these might be very familiar, some of these might be new. So just stick around for a while, right? So regular A minor chord, we have a C with your pointer finger, 1st fret, B string, ring finger, 2nd fret, G string, middle finger, 2nd fret, D string. Okay, so that's A minor, A, C, E, a triad. Only 3 different notes, even though we're playing all 6 strings if we want. They're just different combinations of A, C, and E. These can be all over the neck, right? Now, we can actually add a note by taking away a finger. You lift your ring finger up, that opens up that G string. Now we have A, C, E, and G. A minor 7. A minor. Really, in that chord voicing, when we have this big, open, ringing root note, it's a negligible difference. Okay, I think once we get down further into the neck, we get some of the juicier minor 7 chord voicings, I guess. But first of all, one thing that you can do to manipulate this one is, since we already have that A bass note, you can kind of grab your pinky and take that 3rd fret on the high E string, and now we're replacing another E with a G. So now the 7th note in that A minor scale, if we're building the chord from a scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Again, it's just adding a G to an A minor chord. A little juicier, like I said, because we're getting that new note on top. Okay, sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't want that. We'll talk about different versions as we go through the neck, all right? Now, the first thing that I started replacing almost all my minor chord voicings would be this voicing right here. Super easy. Now, our root note is going to be on the low E string, 5th fret, is an A, right? I've gotten into the habit of building these chords by skipping the A string and then either taking my ring finger and trying to get the bottom 4 strings on the same fret. The beautiful thing about this is, conceptually, it's very easy. It's just the same fret, right? This would be an A minor 7, A, C, E, G, just in a different order, right? Now, again, in this particular case, we could leave that A string open and just kind of get them all like that, right? The nice thing about skipping the A string is this is a movable chord shape. So we've got A minor 7, A sharp, B flat minor 7, B minor 7, C minor 7, so on and so forth, right? So this is going to be the next chord voicing. Now, what I actually use a lot more is this right here. So we have just 5E, 5D, and 5G. Okay, I like that because you can kind of, you get the hits, right? You get the essence of what you're doing here. You have the A in the bass note, we have the G right here, the minor 7, and then you have the minor 3rd of that chord, so you get the hits of it, right? We don't actually have an E note in this voicing. A, B, C, D, E. We can imply the 5th, so it's still technically a minor 7 chord. Don't get caught up on that. If you do want to learn more of the theory, check out the Patreon for sure. But I think this is like a really useful, tight chord voicing that is not hard to do. It's way easier than even just like a regular minor triad shape, right? Okay? So, now the next one, I think, is one that should be utilized a little bit more, okay? One way to think about a minor 7 chord voicing is to think of it as a root note and a different chord, okay? So I said A, C, E, G makes A minor chord. So what if we just take that A, just leave it here with this open A string, right? What does that leave us? C, E, G. Well, if you know the notes in your chords, C, E, G is really easy. It's It's just a major chord, C major chord, right? Which is why if we have a C major chord and you just open up that A string, you get a minor 7, all right? So what we can do, knowing this, thinking about A, just holding down that bass note, we can make other C major triads on top of it. Like for instance, this one right here from like a C major bar chord, where we have like your pointer finger right here, and then we kind of do a little staircase that right there, 8, 9, 10 on the B, G, D strings, but then leave that A minor, that A bass note open. You can also get that high E string in there to let it ring out. And then just for an example, if we had like a chord progression, it's like A to C major 7 to F. Instead of that A right there, we can start switching that. Kind of just gives you a vibe that is a little bit different than staying in a static spot in that one position. All right. The next thing, the last chord voicing I want to do real quick is just think of this right here. So remember, the 5th fret on the low E string is an A. We can octave to get this new thinking of what our root note is, even if it's not necessarily our bass note. Right here, okay? So we have an open A string, and then we have the 7th fret on the D string, okay? The nice thing about having this kind of octave thing is you can get the 7th below. The 7th note in the minor scale is a full step behind the root, right? So you can kind of... And that's kind of like an A minor 7 riff, and you can move that around to E. Kind of just get like cool stuff that you can always do. Right? Now, what I like to do is thinking about this as like a new root note of a higher voicing, right? Something like this. So I've got the A here on the D string, 7th fret. I'm gonna grab the 5th of that chord, right? Like a power chord. And then my middle finger is gonna come. If you guys have been paying attention to this channel, my middle finger is healed, finally. Good to know. And then I've got my middle finger kind of holding down the B string right there, okay? So you can still get that bass note. You can even get both E strings. In fact, this chord voicing, especially with your pinky here grabbing the octave A on the 10th fret of the B string, is actually a song off one of the new Emeryld Ryders tracks. Bonus points to anybody who can tell me what song that riff comes from. But I think that's like a really cool minor 7 chord voicing. Now, you jazz aficionados might like this one right here, which is again that same thing, but now I'm adding that C on top. I really like that one, especially for certain contextual things. Now, this one might not work out so well if you're kind of like doing that example earlier where you're like... See, there's a big variance in sound right there if you're doing like a solo accompaniment thing. But again, it's really good to have kind of these different chord voicings, like I said, in your back pocket. Great to learn these all around the neck. Also, if you're interested in learning different chord replacements, I'm going to be teaching a class this weekend just on kind of like different chords and how to use them to make cool songwriting progressions and just kind of like use your music theory to actually do practical stuff. So it's super cheap. We'll link you below. So hopefully I will see you there. Thanks a lot. So which one did you enjoy playing more, this one or the Johnny Cash guitar? So another thing I've been posting recently, I was lucky enough to go check out the Martin Guitar Factory and Museum in Pennsylvania. Martin was nice enough to send this D35 over, which I really love. This was always kind of like one of my dream guitars that I wanted to have. But they let me play all the old guitars in the museum. So if you missed it, I got to play Johnny Cash's actual guitar. And like an actual pre-war D45 is worth $500,000. I'll link you to some of those videos if you missed it because they're really cool. But what was most special to me is I got to play Elliott Smith's guitar, right? Elliott Smith is, in my estimation, the best guitar player who ever lived. Again, totally, that's totally just my opinion. I know a lot of people don't hold that opinion, but I was thinking about this too, like, when you talk about like who the greatest guitar players ever, I feel like you can't help be swayed by other people's opinions. Like you see those lists, like for the longest time, I thought, well, Jimi Hendrix is the best guitar player ever because it's something I heard and it's something that other people backed me up on. So it's like, yeah, Hendrix is the best guitar player ever, which if you think that, you're definitely right. You're not wrong. But like, the older I get, I just realize, who cares what other people think? I really think that Elliott Smith was the greatest guitar player that ever lived, right? For what I think of as great guitar playing. Again, that's different for every person. But I got to play his guitar, and that was just like, that was an otherworldly experience. You can tell in that video, I'm playing like Say Yes with Andrea singing, and you can look at my fretting hand, and it's like shaking because I was so nervous, and I never get like that. So I think the Elliott Smith guitar was definitely the highlight of that whole trip. We got some more videos of that coming up soon, some vlog type stuff, and just kind of recap of the factory tour, which was an eye-opening experience. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned because those videos are coming very soon. I came to this video specifically for the bass guitar contest, not thinking this song would be anything worth listening to, but damn was I wrong. This is rad. Great job, Sean and Andrea. So this is taken off the original music that I had people comment on as a way to extort people into listening to it by giving away a free bass guitar. If you commented on it, you're entered in the contest. So I just want to shout out my man Herman Flippin for winning the contest. If anybody has any questions about how we chose the contest winner, all you had to do was you had to comment on the actual YouTube video. There's an app that you can kind of input the video it's on, and it picks one of the comments at random. So there's a screenshot for transparency, I guess. But definitely thank you for that. The funny thing is, the most common comment we got on that song was like, I had no expectations of this. I thought this would be awful, but it's actually pretty good. Which is so funny to me that the stock response of no YouTuber could make actual good music has been the comment that I've been receiving for a long time. So thank you everybody for being so shocked and surprised that I'm actually capable of presenting quality music. But thanks everyone for entering, and there's going to be another contest with Fender coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Great Halloween party concert, great performance by Katie, Kindred, and you. Another video I just posted yesterday actually was a vlog from the Halloween show that we did, where I dressed up as James Potter, not Harry Potter from Gryffindor. I gotta shout out these Spirit Halloween stores that just pop up. I had no idea that I was gonna go as I knew I had to go as something, but it was great to be able to walk in and just buy a Harry Potter sweater and a scarf and just throw money at that problem, make it go away, instead of actually picking out and spending real effort and time into a Halloween costume. And not making me look like a total slouch compared to Kindred and Katie, who looked absolutely gorgeous. So watch that video if you missed it. What road was that they were on? I'm from California, but I didn't recognize it. So also another thing that I've been doing a lot recently is going back and forth to California to pursue my dreams of becoming a Hallmark Christmas movie actor as Douchebag Boyfriend. I'm just going to keep saying it till it happens. Christmas season's coming up. The video that this comment is referencing was taken right by Big Sur off PCH. Man, I got to tell you, if you guys have never been to California, it is so worth checking out just for strictly the geography. You know what I mean? It's been really awesome kind of going out there. I also do want to shout out Hosa Cables because they have been a huge supporter of mine, being able to kind of go back and forth out there. They kind of hooked me up with a bunch of cables and stuff so I can keep shooting videos when I'm out there instead of having to pack a bunch of gear in my bag. They hooked it up with a bunch of cables and stuff. So again, if you guys need cables, you just get the Hosa ones because they've been a huge supporter of my channel and they sound great. I've never had one go bad. I use them for all my live gigs and all this recorded stuff too. So thank you, Hosa, for hooking it up out there. And more California stuff coming soon. He seems like the guy who punches you in the face for no reason, then apologizes and means it, but hits you right again. This seems like a compliment, but I don't. It seems r/curiously specific. So if I did at some point punch you in the face for some reason, I do sincerely apologize for it, and I will try my best not to punch you again. Excellent singing, but very poor guitar playing, especially when the correct chords are not played. Would sound much better with someone who knows how to play the guitar. It's not a cover of Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. You know what? Out of all the songs I've done, people take so much issue with that one right there, that it's B minor to G, right? But I play B minor to G major 7, and with that one twist of the finger, 1,000 salty comments were born. How dare you play G major 7 and Wild Horses is the second chord? I can't take it. You suck at guitar. So for listening homework, I'm going to throw you to a Tiny Desk home concert that I somehow missed. Hiatus Kaiyote, one of my favorite modern bands that exist right now, just did a totally vibey Tiny Desk concert, and y'all should check it out. Still kind of working my way through the new Hiatus Kaiyote stuff. I think it's really good, but Choose Your Weapon will always be just one of the all-time greats. So watch the Tiny Desk concert. If you vibe at all with Hiatus Kaiyote, please listen to Choose Your Weapon, because I think it's like an actual modern-day masterpiece. So definitely thank you again to Hosa for hooking it up with all the cables out in California. Thank you to Martin for the D35 and just kind of facilitating all those awesome videos that have been coming out on the channel lately. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.